Have you ever wondered how unique you are? Our bodies are far from simple biological mechanisms. They are amazing works of evolution, filled with mysteries and unexpected possibilities. Here you'll learn about the unique characteristics that set us apart, from the ability to touch your nose with the tip of your tongue to the rare genetic traits that make us who we are. If you have green eyes, you are one of the 2% of people who possess this rarity. Do you belong to the 2% of people who experience synesthesia? This is a unique condition where stimulation of one sense causes the perception of another. For example, the perception of color when listening to music. 0.01% of people have the ability to see ultraviolet light. Are you one of them? Are you capable of writing with both your right and left hand? Then you are one of the 1% ambidextrous. If you have only one line on the palm of your hand instead of the usual two, it's called monotony, and it occurs in 2% of people. You are one of the 2% of people if you can touch your nose with the tip of your tongue. Do you belong to the 35% of the population who sneeze in the sun? This phenomenon is known as the photic sneezing reflex. If you are left-handed, you are among the 10% of the population that possesses this unique skill. If you have dimples on your cheeks, you are part of the 20% of the population that possesses this dominant trait. About 25% of people can be seen to have freckles. Is this your case? If you have different colored eyes, this condition is called heterochromia, and it only occurs in 1% of people. If you have a curl of hair at the back of your head that grows counterclockwise, you belong to the 8.5% of the population that has this feature. Tetrachromasia is a unique condition in which a person has 4 types of cones in the retina instead of 3. This allows them to see more colors than most people. It occurs in only 0.00002% of people. If this is about you, post about it in the comments. If you have brown eyes, you belong to 75% of the population with this eye color. A very small portion of the population, only 0.0003%, have ever been struck by lightning. Are you one of them? If you have a photographic memory, you are in an elite group of people. Only 0.02% of the population has the ability to memorize images with absolute accuracy. If you are over 2 meters tall, you are among the less than 1% of men on Earth who are that tall. If you have naturally curly hair, you are in the top 15% of the population. Can you roll your tongue into a tube? 75% of people have this skill. If you are able to rotate your ears, you are in the unique group of less than 1% of the population with this amazing ability. Albinism is a condition in which there is very little or no pigment in the skin, hair, and eyes. It occurs in only 0.005% of people, which is about 8,000 people on the planet. 19% of people have no wisdom teeth. How about you? If your second toe is longer than your big toe, you belong to the 20% of the population that has this feature. This phenomenon is known as Morton's toe or Greek foot. If you have blue eyes with brown spots, you are part of less than 1% of the population. The ability to not feel pain is an amazing and very rare condition that only 0.00013% of the population possesses. This medical phenomenon is known as congenital analgesia or pain insensitivity. If you were born in a leap year, you are in 0.9% of the population. Do you have tattoos? They occur in about 20% of the population. Do you speak 2 or more languages? 60% of people can. If you can ride a bicycle, you are in the group of about 15% of the population. Believe it or not, 0.0002% of people have ever won the lottery. Red hair is rare, possessed by only 1.5% of the population. If you have extra ribs, you are in the 4% of the population with this feature. A monobrow is a trait that can be seen in 11% of the population. If you have red eyes, this can be a sign of albinism, and it occurs in 0.5% of the population. If you have superhuman reflexes, you are among the 0.00005% of the population with this unique trait. About 14% of people walk around with piercings, not including ears. Amazingly, 0.00018% of people can hold their breath for 5 minutes. Only 0.0001% of people can sneeze with their eyes open. If you are able to sing with your mouth closed, you are in the 0.00004% of the population that has this skill. Have you ever tried to draw a perfect circle? If yes, and you are good at it, then you are one of the 0.00005% of people who possess this ability. Imagine that 0.00042% of people have the ability to spend an hour frozen. You probably wouldn't want to belong to that group, would you? If you can run at 40 kilometers per hour, you are among the 0.00047% of the population who have reached that speed. Usain Bolt managed to hit 44 kilometers per hour. Quite amazingly, there are some people who can lift 3 times their own weight. They make up 0.00278% of the population. Can you jump 2 meters high? If so, you are one of the 0.00263% of the population capable of such a jump. The record is 2 meters and 45 centimeters. 0.00217% of the population has the ability to solve examples in their head. Nikola Tesla was capable of solving complex problems in his mind. How about you? The world record for swimming is 6 kilometers per hour. Can you swim that fast? If so, you are in the 0.00015% of the population that can. Did you know that 0.00029% of the population has the ability to survive an electric shock? A dermatoglyphia is a very rare genetic disorder, and 0.00083% of people are missing fingerprints due to this disease. You can rightfully call yourself a person with golden blood if you have blood type 0. 0.0005% can be a donor for anyone in the world. Can you speak backwards without stuttering? Did you know that only 0.00041% of people have this skill? Remarkable, isn't it? If you are able to read a book in a minute, you are among the 0.00038% of the population. Howard Berg is the fastest reader in the world. He reads 25,000 words per minute. Have you ever felt magnetic fields? If so, you are among the unique 0.00025% of the population that possesses this skill. Interestingly, many animals use it to navigate. 0.00017% of the population has a genetic mutation that makes their bones extremely strong. How's that for an idea of super bones? If you can recognize every bird by its singing, then you are among the 0.00011% of the population with this unique skill. For example, Juan Pablo Colasso can identify over 720 species. 0.00011% of people have such highly developed hearing that they can hear sounds up to 7 kilometers away. This is much more than the normal human ability to hear sounds 180 meters away. Can you see in the dark? If yes, you are in the 0.001% of the population. It is believed that only 0.00001% of people can live to be 120 years old. But it is said that the first person to live to 150 years old has already been born. Do you believe that?